Hey, best friends. On this week's episode of Teachers Off Duty, we're talking about all things lessons gone wrong, from tarantulas in the classroom to drug-sniffing dogs to poop on the classroom floor. You don't want to miss it. Tune in for this week's episode of Teachers Off Duty.
What's going on, educators? Welcome to another wonderful episode of the Teachers Off Duty podcast, the Board Teachers Comedy Tour Takeover. Happy Sunday, happy fun day, man. We appreciate you for turning in. Turning in, turn up.
Tuning
in and turning up with us one more time.
Yeah.
Sometimes they got to turn up the volume. Some people got to tune in.
Whether they're watching turning in my blanket while I'm...
Or driving their cars.
Yes. No matter what. There's so many ways to listen to the podcast. We definitely appreciate you guys for coming back every week. This is another wonderful episode with your man, KC Mack, and my wonderful people to my right and my left. Tell them who you are. Bow.
Mike Rivera. Mr. Rivera Comedy, thank you so much.
And?
Honest Teacher Vibes.
Honest Teacher Vibes. My sister.
My brother.
My confidant.
My brother.
One of my best friends in the game. I love her so much. She's so sweet.
Aw, Casey.
You know
how the new update on the iPhone, like if you make a heart, it'll do.
Yeah, if you do a thumbs up, it'll pop up as well.
And if you do two fingers like this, it'll do confetti.
Oh, I thought if you did two fingers like this, it'll turn the phone off for you.
No,
because it's like you're saying peace out.
No. Oh, okay.
I made that up.
Okay. Yeah, I figured you did. You're pretty good, dude. Casey, hey, let's talk about the fact that Casey has got to be one of the funniest people I've ever met in my entire life.
Please, okay, come on, Mike is
like
right
seriously.
Here. Come on, we can't do this in front of Mike.
You're my brother. Shut up.
Mike is one of the funniest people I've met as well.
Mike is freaking hilarious, but take the compliment.
I'm gonna take the compliment.
Thank
Go
you.
ahead.
In 2024,
please.
If somebody gives us a compliment, we taking the compliment.
I know, but I'm just so humble. I just couldn't.
No, you're not. I'm the humblest person you ever heard of, and I'm proud of it.
I am humble. You want to know why I'm so humble? Because guess what? I'm a part of one of the greatest tours on earth right now.
True that.
In teacher comedy history. And we are going to be in Midland, Texas tonight.
Woo-woo!
That's right. So you don't have to just hear about Bree tell you how funny I am. You can actually see it in live and living color, up close and personal.
In living
color.
Oh, that's living single.
Oh, Lord. That's one of my favorite shows. But speaking of the shows, again, like I said, we're going to be in Midland, Texas tonight, West Texas. That's right. We can't wait to see you. We're also going to be in Orlando, Florida, Thursday, right, at the Dr. Phillips Center. Now, listen, Thursday's show is an added show. Why? Because Saturday's show was sold out. Thank you, Orlando. You always been supporting the Board Teachers Comedy Tour, and we can't wait to give you that good, new, fresh material. That's right. We're giving you something. Break me out the plastic because we acting brand new. That's right. We love Florida.
Did you just make that up?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
No, that's a song. That's a song.
Oh,
you ever heard that
Casey,
song?
I was like, no.
Break me out the plastic because I'm acting brand new.
I'm about to start saying that.
That's a whole trend on TikTok.
How do you know the trends on TikTok?
Well, it's a song. You know,
okay.
And in popular songs, they make it trends on
Y'all
TikTok.
should listen. Casey be popping his tongue all the time.
I don't know, because I got a fat tongue.
Tongue pop be immaculate.
I'm going to tell you what else is immaculate. Clearwater, Florida. Why? Because we're going to be there, too. And that is your hometown,
My hometown, yes. Cannot wait, man. They've been waiting 3 years for this, so this is going to be fantastic.
Oh, you're going to show up and show out.
Half my school is going to be there for sure.
Yay!
I already got tickets, and all my family and all my friends. So we're looking forward to that one. It's about time.
All right, Clearwater, Florida. Florida teachers, we love making you guys laugh. And listen, it is after that, man, we're going to be in upstate New York, Vermont, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Indiana, Massachusetts, Idaho, Utah, Canada. That's right, Canada. Kentucky, Mississippi, Louisiana, Wyoming, Colorado, Illinois, Iowa, Wisconsin, and all around California in May. So you definitely want to be a part of this. You don't want to miss out. Get your tickets. You can find information about where to purchase your tickets all throughout this website, on the description and the link, all throughout Board Teachers' website.
We don't know where it is
all
down
throughout
here.
all personal websites, we're all pushing it because, like I said, man, it's one hell of a show. You don't want to miss it. And speaking of one hell of a shows, it's also one hell of a show that we have for you today, this episode right here, because we're going to be talking about lessons gone wrong.
Because this is what my students do during my lessons.
They do the drum roll?
Or they get up and sharpen a pencil in the middle of my lesson.
Oh, Lord.
Please don't do that.
I thought we got to the point where we don't even use pencils at this point.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
Okay.
I'm an English teacher, baby. I need that pencil and paper.
So watch this. So we have once a year, our district, it does no tech day. So we are not allowed to use
Once
tech.
a year?
Yeah, we're not allowed to use tech.
We don't use no tech.
For I think so. Maybe it's like even 2 days. We can't use tech, and we got to get the kids. They're doing more writing. No Chromebooks.
Yeah, so you got to go back to the days of scribing.
We can't even use tech. Even like our boards, we can't use.
Oh.
Yeah,
No.
Yeah, we have to go. It's everybody. It's like we're back in the Stone Ages again, and we're just.
I'm trying to think of what. I guess I could teach a day without any technology. Yeah. But it would be a lot of writing on the board.
I'm just like, why though? I mean, because we're living in the ages of tech. Like, so why? How is that helping?
maybe it's just
I don't get it.
I mean, I understand the sentiment behind it. Like
I get it. It's like nostalgia.
unplugging.
Yeah, let's go back to the old days. But I mean, it doesn't help the current status of what our kids are actually going to be doing.
Yeah. I could see that.
I don't
I'm
know.
just saying, as an English teacher, sometimes I like. Which we have like NetRef. I'm not sure what y'all use to make sure your kids are like on what they're supposed to be on, but we use something called NetRef to make sure our kids are not, on different websites and playing a game or whatever. But sometimes I just feel like they kind of zone out on the Chromebooks, even if they're like, because I do stuff on Common Lit. But sometimes I feel like with technology, I need to, some of my kids, I feel like they need like the physical, like a copy of the story, like in their hand so they can like feel themselves like turning the pages and like reading the story. Because sometimes on the computer, I feel like they just zone out when they're reading, and it's easier for them to like annotate and stuff on paper.
No, I definitely understand. Like, there are benefits, for not using tech, but it's just like
there's benefits to tech. You're right.
Yeah, but
You're
what
right.
are we going to be? What is going to be the lion's share of
right.
how they're going to be, doing their projects and doing, and this in life period,
Right.
in the world we live in. So I don't know.
No, we're doing, my school, we're doing focused note taking. That's our big directive this year.
It's what?
Focused note taking, things like that, avid strategies and things like that. The Cornell notes, so they can disseminate the information and then organize
what
it that way.
What subject do you teach?
Pre-AP World History.
Oh, you're bougie.
Okay.
What kind of?
He has the good kills.
School do you teach? Pre-AP World History?
Yes, 8th grade. And it's normally a 9th grade class.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, y'all dissecting stuff. They teach.
No,
are they
that's
taking a
not-
chemistry
no,
class?
no.
You're at your middle school. You teach at a good school, right? What are y'all laughing
we're
at?
Title I.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with Title
I
I.
stopped myself from
We
saying you had
scaffold.
the good kids, but I stopped myself like I don't want to say.
We
So I was
scaffold.
like, he had the good.
Lots of scaffolding.
I've only taught at Title I schools.
Yeah.
So shout out to Title I schools.
They're good, and
Shout out.
show me
shout
the
out.
money. So that's
Show me the money.
Show me the moolah. So this episode, we're talking about lessons gone wrong. And we do have a lot of teachers that have sent in stories of lessons gone wrong. Mostly it's like the kids interrupting, their lesson or running out or doing, something crazy. But I had, in the middle of my lesson, a kid yell out, "Miss Richardson, they fighting." And I'm thinking, I've literally never had a kid get into a fight in my classrooms. I'm like, I look out the window, the football players and the track team are fist fighting, like a brawl fight. There's like 50
so they
of
were
them out there.
serious.
Yeah, there were like 50 of them out there. And so I like run over to the window and I'm like, you can hear me in the video because the kids always record fights. I didn't know what else to do because I couldn't get out there. It was like, I couldn't leave my kids. There's not an admin in the hallway to my knowledge. So I opened the window. I didn't see any coaches anywhere. I was like, hey, stop. They didn't. And then I didn't know what else to do. I was just like, the kids was like, "Miss Richardson, you're the teacher.
Did you
gotta
continue
figure
with
out
your
what-"
lesson?
No, I didn't. Miss Richardson, why didn't you go get somebody? I didn't want to waste any instructional time
Right.
because y'all said don't
That's
waste
important.
instructional time.
teach bell to bell.
But I ran out there in the hallway and got a teacher, and I didn't know, or got the principal actually was standing in the hallway, and I was like, "Hey, there's like 50 kids outside fighting," And I didn't know until after I watched the video. One of the coaches was like standing right there. But he was one of them old school coaches that was like, man, I'm not breaking them up. He said, all I'm legally obligated to do is say,
Stop.
Hey, stop.
Stop.
He legitimately.
With that tone, too. Hey,
in
stop.
that tone.
Stop.
Hey, stop. But the way teachers get hurt breaking up fights, I can understand him saying, because the school ain't going to have you back. One of our teachers fell down the bleachers breaking up a fight and broke his ankle.
Oh.
And then they felt some kind of way because he had to take off because he broke his ankle. It's at my old school.
I was properly trained to break up fights, because I'm a green belt. And I took these classes at the YMCA. And they properly equipped me how to diffuse any kind of situations.
A green belt is not an actual thing, though, right?
Yes. It's
Is
the
it
second
Mike?
level.
Is it Mike? Not me co-signing with need Mike to co-sign. I'm like, what is? I'm just not that smart, I think. There's a lot of stuff I don't know.
Guys, there's no way in hell I would use green belt YMCA karate to break up a fight. Come on, guys. What are we talking? I'm looking around like,
I thought
you guys taking me serious right now?
I thought you were going somewhere with this story.
I
thought they taught you like a technique to be like,
No,
stop.
you can't use. I would be arrested and probably
I thought
charges filed against me. You have to use the standard mandated.
What is it called? CPR or something like that?
Yes, you have to use the standard training.
Somebody who came up with that did not. Whoever came up with CPR training,
Can
you
you
ain't never
imagine
worked
an
in a
MMA
school.
fighter using? He would get arrested. You can't do that.
One of the best stories, lesson plans gone wrong, and they don't do this anymore because it's obvious. They were teaching archery. Do they teach archery?
Absolutely
Okay, this
not,
has
Mike.
to be almost...
What kind of elite school
This
did
is
you
18 years ago, okay? And so they learned, in the gym first, going at 20 feet, and then they were in the big field, and they had all the targets there. Mm-hmm. And so the coach is back there, and he tells them, and he's by the targets, and he goes, do not shoot. Do not shoot your arrows till I make it over there.
Wow.
And they don't listen to instructions.
And within 10, and we're just waiting to see it happen. Within 10 seconds, all the arrows start going, and like I said, it blocked out the sun.
It looked like the scene from Troy.
That was it. The arrows blocked out the sun, and this guy
The scene
was
from
just
Troy.
like, and we're just laughing there, going, "What did you think was going to happen?"
Yeah, don't give
You got
them-
middle school kids,
Put it
and
on
we
the
don't do
ground.
archery anymore. Okay, and that was why. I mean, are you kidding
get
me?
hit with one?
No, he was lucky he didn't.
Oh, gosh.
Well, the kid. An arrow, they would break them half, and it would only go like 5 feet anyway. But this is like, I'd have to say like 30 yards away. So that was
Well,
that
I don't
was
do
one
public
great
math.
lesson plan.
I don't do
by
public
PE.
math.
That's definitely.
I don't know how far away
definitely
30
But
yards.
I'm wondering, does anyone in middle school do archery?
Because y'all do some stuff in middle school. I'm like, hold up. Is your school a middle and high school? Like,
It's 6th, 7th, and 8th grade.
That's
But
great.
again, it's been the 25 years. Remember, I'm 25 to life. That's
can we
my
start-
sentence.
Not 25 to life.
That is my sentence.
So you actually seen education change drastically.
You have.
I have
those.
seen it, and it's
And have stuck around.
I have to. Where else do I? Can
like,
I
I'm
go?
almost done.
Where else can? That's the only
almost done.
carrot on the stick, and that's a different thing. We taught lesson gone wrong. The biggest change I've seen in education is this: when I started, you stayed at your school.
Mm-hmm.
You stayed at your school, and I did not get an advanced class for 15 years. Okay. And then, you can handle it. You must have gotten that all the time. Well, you can handle this class. And now, what's changed is if you don't like it, the teachers move. They can go to other schools where things might be better.
I left.
But when I started,
I left with a quickness.
and it's weird, I am now at our school the fifth most senior teacher in the whole school.
I don't think
Wait a minute.
That's how.
Damn, who are the other four?
That's because they were there before me. But when
I know, but I'm saying, what's their story? Longer than 25 years?
Longer than
Oh my
been there
God.
30, 35 years.
we got a teacher at our school. She been there 31 years.
Because there's no where are we going to go?
Yeah, she
We're
been there
gonna
31
That makes
years.
my lips itch.
But that's the thing. So new teachers now know the grass might be greener in another school and stuff like that. They have
Yeah.
options.
I personally never had.
Yeah, be passing notes during lessons.
I personally never
lessons
had
gone wrong.
a lesson go wrong because I'm that teacher. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, gosh.
No, I'm just playing.
I'm the humblest person you've ever met. I'm proud of it.
No, you know me. I like to speak for that small, minute few, and I'm asking like, there's probably a teacher out there that's like, I've never had.
Watch, I just said, right, because I
I've
said I've
never-
never had a fight break out in my class. Watch somebody get the fight.
I've never had a lesson go wrong. All my lessons are perfectly planned and executed. I don't know.
We planned.
I did have a teacher. I mean, she was excited. I remember she in the morning, because I used to go by her class before school started, and she was so excited because her lesson she was doing, she was setting up her classroom like a little cafe. So taught English, so she had the little flowers and she had the menu with the lesson as a menu on the desk, like, you know what I'm saying? So she had to set in. She had the little
interactive
paper
lesson.
plate, right?
Yeah.
She had to set out, so they were supposed to write on the paper plate. You know what I'm saying? The things. So it was she was so excited about that lesson, and she just knew it was going to go over well.
Right,
and she was like, so at the end of the day, I went, to her classroom. I said, "Hey, how did that go? How did that work out?" She goes, "It was hell." I said, "What happened?"
Oh no!
She said, "Those little stinkers." In my mind, I just knew they was gonna be more engaged.
Oh yeah!
And they was giving me bad Yelp reviews and saying this cafe sucks and why the tablecloth don't match it.
Oh,
It was like they missed the point.
That's
totally.
always the worst, though, is when you plan a lesson and you're really excited about it, and the kids come in and do it in 5 minutes, and they're like,
right.
"This is lame."
That's what
And she,
going.
she put some serious time and effort into that.
She was really sad too.
I would have been
really sad. She was really sad.
I would have been sad. Like a cafe, menus, you know
Right.
she worked hard hours, and the kids are like, "This is dumb."
Right. Exactly.
Talk about crushing your self-esteem.
But usually lesson plans go wrong when there's an interruption.
Oh my gosh,
Yes.
so
Which
many
distracts them.
freaking interruptions.
And the best one for me happened when, and it hadn't happened in quite a while, when there's a knock on the door. And then there's our AP, there's the deputy,
Oh Lord.
and then guess what? There's the dog. Has that ever happened to you guys?
I seen the AP and the sheriff deputy. They ain't never seen the dog.
The dog is ready.
Mike, I'm trying to come visit your school.
And let me tell you,
things pop off at your school.
When those kids see that dog, they will take one breath for the next 6 minutes while that dog is in that classroom. And that dog is a friendly dog. But you just see all
like
the kids have
sniffing
that
around.
stone face, like, oh my God.
I have they
Those are
brought
clearly-
a dog into the school, a drug sniffing dog.
Yeah.
Mike, when was this? I need to know the
probably
time
around
period.
12 years ago.
Yeah,
or
I'm like,
something.
I need to know
they
the
still do
time
that.
periods
No,
of
no,
this.
no,
they're
they
still
still
there.
we
I
have
have
that.
never
still there. Yeah.
seen.
Yeah, we have that. And we have that still.
And what happens is they tell the dog,
Mississippi,
and right
I
away,
guess they just-
they go, students, don't touch the dog.
Yeah, don't pet the dog.
But afterwards, you can touch the dog. But while the dog's, and they'll say, just stay right there. And then the dog will go up. Now, back then,
Is
I
this
kept
not a safety hazard or something?
up and down the rows. Up and down the row. Mm-hmm. And you want to see kids be in perfect attention. And again,
Right.
they are not breathing. They are turning
and
red.
it's always
Or-
it's like a.
Or you see that student, it's a dog, and you just see him going.
Yeah. It is crazy.
It's like, let me
What
swallow
are
this.
you eating the evidence, sir? What
And
are you
then
doing?
if
This
you
is
did
a
not-
Smartie.
And if you did not know, if the dog smells something, the dog doesn't start barking. You know what the dog
They
does.
sit down, don't they?
They just sit down and wag its tail. Yeah.
Like, found
And
it.
everyone is like going, do not. And I'm like, and I know certain teachers like going, please get that dog away from me. And
I got something in my book bag.
Right. It's sometimes the teachers get a little more nervous than
and
the
that
students.
is the thing to see. And then you can't teach after that.
No,
they
God,
want-
no.
Yeah, and it's the interruptions with the lesson plans and stuff like that. Yeah, but
That's
the
a
dog will
huge
actually go
interruption.
up and down those things, and every kid is just thinking, "Oh God, please don't let that dog sit by me," and
Are
stuff
you
like that.
kidding? I have
That
not.
is-
Y'all gonna have to comment in the comments. I didn't even know they allowed. I mean, I'm like, that is surprising to me.
And now,
Not the sheriff's deputy, but the dog, the drug sniffing dog is
in
surprising to me.
recent
We have
years, what
that.
they have done is they'll just sweep them by the lockers. They won't come in the classroom as much. I haven't had that in years. But what happens is you'll see, and the kids know it, man. They go, guess what? And if you want to freak out, your kids go, oh, the dogs are here, and that will.
I'm gonna say I would be livid as a parent. I don't care if a kid had drugs or not. I would be livid as a parent if you bring a freaking dog into this classroom. First of all, that is too many safety hazards. I mean, I understand.
It's a
dog
well-trained
is a
dog. It's a
I don't care how
well-trained
well, I
dog.
don't care
The
how
dog's a
well trained the
trained
dog
dog.
is. I don't want a dog in my kid's class. I'm just saying, I'm speaking as a parent now, not as a teacher. I'm speaking as a parent.
Well, if you stop putting your weed in their backpacks, you wouldn't have to worry about
can't
that.
stand
Parents.
I'm just saying. And maybe I'm overthinking it because I mean my kid is in kindergarten, but still I'm thinking of my sixth graders, And I'm thinking of like them bringing a drug sniffing dog into my 6th grade classroom.
When you have so
sad.
many kids, sometimes
I
showing
mean,
up,
I
it's for
literally-
the, it's,
change.
it's for
I
the safety of the
literally
kids.
understand this. I completely understand the sentiment. We apprehended a hemp oil bottle
Right.
that it bust all over the floor in one of the classrooms yesterday. I completely understand, but
That's what I'm
the
about to say.
dog is
What you teach in middle school,
the dog is extreme.
you don't think like there's none of your students that
There's a lot of them. Yes, they do. But the dog sniffing, the drug sniffing dog, absolutely not. No.
But even a lot of times,
They ain't in prison. They're not in jail.
That would deter the kids from even thinking about
That's the
bringing anything
I
to
don't
school.
know. Man, I might have my opinion might be solo. My opinion, but. I do not. I'm just thinking as a mama and as a 6th grade teacher.
Kids, you
I
can
don't
bring
want-
meth to class, but not no dog.
I just don't want. I understand the sentiment behind it, but I feel like there are kids that are scared of dogs. There are kids. I don't care how. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm being too.
Well, I was in 8th grade.
Maybe I'm being too millennial about that.
And the thing is,
but
the dog though was
Yeah.
afterwards.
there are kids that
Anyone
are
could
scared
pet the
of
dog.
dogs.
The dog is. These dogs have been trained, very friendly.
But these could be the same dogs at the airport if you're traveling with your family,
Mm-hmm.
and they bring the random dogs to do the sniffing. I mean, it's just a part of it. Like that's a part.
I don't know. I might be on my own with this one, but if they brought a drug sniffing dog into my classroom,
Okay,
no.
I got something. Happy
bringing that
medium.
in
Happy
here.
medium. What if it was a drug sniffing Chihuahua?
Yeah.
Casey,
Would that be better?
do you ever be serious? Like, are you ever serious? If me and Casey
No.
talk, can you imagine if the 3 of us talk on the same hallway?
Oh, we had the best time ever.
Now, talk about the biggest thing now is vapes. Are you having a vaping problem?
Absolutely,
Yes.
1000%.
That's
This
All
is
the
what,
time.
but that's
And
what's
that's not
toxic,
cool.
though. Yeah.
All the time.
And
all
we-
the time. The kids, first of all, the kids don't understand I'm like, y'all, this has like significant impact on your life. Like they're doing it when they're in like 5th and 6th grade. And they pass it around.
Yeah.
And they're like, it wasn't mine. Such and such put it in my pocket. It wasn't. I'm like, yo, I have this generation of kids, like people, there are adults buying them vapes.
Right.
And they have them all the time. They have them all the time.
It's a problem.
And it's a definite distraction because you can kind of tell certain kids whose behavior are altered.
You
because
sure can.
of, you know what I'm saying?
'Cause
Oh,
they're
now
not
you're
just
extra sleepy today. Right,
They're not
right.
just nicotine
That's
vapes
what I'm saying.
either. Like some
So-
of them got weed in them.
And that can
Yes.
definitely affect your lessons. You know what I'm saying? Because now, a kid could be now he's drowsy or more than another, or more hyper than the other. You can tell that's because of something else.
Especially
Like,
the 8th graders, I
it's
can
something else.
always tell. They either come in eating everything. Kids that
Right,
normally like
right.
they just and like zoned
right,
out eating.
right,
Like
right.
zoned out munching or
So imagine
sleep.
trying to conduct a lesson and that's your audience. That's
Right.
your.
Right. And
It's
a
kinda
lot of
hard.
it is. I mean,
Are your kids allowed to bring water bottles in their class?
nope. They can bring
Since
they
the
can
pandemic,
bring
we're
water.
allowed.
They can bring water bottles, but it has to like you can't. They couldn't bring like those freaking Stanley cups that everybody's losing their mind over. They can't bring something like that. They can't. They can only have water. Like they can't bring like a Dr Pepper or whatever because we don't know what's in there. Like and my old school. I guess maybe they just weren't as vigilant, but like this school, this stuff that I just never have thought about. My first week at my new school, I walked in the bathroom. There's a girl sleep on the floor in the bathroom. And I thought she was passed out. I was like, oh my gosh, like she passed out. She would sleep. I knew she would sleep because she was snoring. I was like, there's a kid asleep in the bathroom.
Back to the water. Have you ever had cases in your school where in the water bottles they put alcohol in there?
I'm sure, but
imagine.
I can't think.
We've had a couple of those, and that's
because vodka looks just like water. So
and
I mean,
Sure
but
doesn't
they
taste
don't
like
let-
it though.
what Tito's looks like water too, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I'm like, this water's looking a little thick today.
So there's a lot of things. That's just one
Crazy
phase
things.
of kind of interruptions that affect
time interruptions.
lessons.
Still stressed by the
What about
dog.
just the announcements that
So
that
many. Listen,
pop over the
so
intercom
many
while you're trying to
announcements.
conduct the lesson?
So many
man?
announcements.
That's so annoying.
My and I think this is it was so cute after the fact, but Peyton is at my school. She's in kindergarten, and literally they bring her to me like with 20 minutes left of my last class of the day at the end of the day because elementary's out a little bit earlier.
you're K through 8.
No, but the elementary school is like
got it.
connected to. It's on the other side of the gym, so they just walk her over to me, one of the office people, and when she comes over, and I love this because it helps her stay on green. But every day when she comes over, she's on green. You can hear her yelling down the hallway before she gets to my classroom. Mommy, I got on green. And they all my 6th graders start cheering. Well, they let her, I was in the middle of a lesson and the intercom came on. They were like, Miss Richardson. I was like, yes, ma'am. And Peyton goes, Mommy, I got on green. Like at the top of her lungs, all my kids started cheering. So that interrupted my lesson, but it was a cute interruption because Peyton got on green. And they were like, oh, Peyton got on green. This is cute. So she was on red at her other school like every day. And I was like,
But back to the point there, because you're 6th grade, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a incredible difference between 6th and 8th grade.
Oh my gosh, absolutely.
This year I have some kids who are 6'5", at least 250.
Because you teach 8th grade?
8th grade.
Have you always taught 8th grade?
I used to teach 7th.
Okay. Have you ever taught 6?
No.
Psychotic.
Oh yeah,
I love 6th graders. They're my people. I've taught 7th, hated it. 8th, I wasn't really pressed about 8th. 8th, they're just like too cool for school. They're about to go to high school. Like they're just whatever.
They get very rebellious.
6th grade, they're my people. Love
6th graders are like stuck in the middle between being an elementary
absolutely.
And, transitioning to middle school.
Absolutely.
They're supposed to be a little bit more mature.
Yeah.
So it's just hard. That's a hard. Shout out to all my 6th grade teachers,
love my
man.
6th graders.
You guys do
I love them.
We have some stories here of some lessons gone wrong that was submitted to us, and I'm going to read the first one. It says, during a grammar lesson, I accidentally, but clearly out loud, said, you need to make sure you use a condom here. When I meant to say, you need to make sure you use a comma.
Oh my gosh.
Here.
I would die. I would melt into the floor. I would melt into the floor. And I bet you that was probably during an observation.
And the bad part about that is you were responsible for this lesson going on. There was no other outside factors that
you had to set that up.
Oh man, you messed this one up.
Oh my gosh, as an English teacher,
Use a condom.
I would absolutely die. I would just melt into the floor because my kids they would just I wouldn't be able to teach for the rest of the I wouldn't be able to teach.
So it's never slipped out something different?
Absolutely not. Oh my gosh, no, not in 6th grade. You would never be able to recover.
Oh yeah,
you would never be able because they go home. Yeah, because they go home and tell a different story than what you actually said. Teacher showed kids her ultrasound picture, and the kid went home and told their mama that the teacher showed them a video of her giving birth.
Wow.
Lies. And the parent was mad, called all in an uproar. Baby, if you don't investigate before you call these folks. Like, no. So I would never be able to live that down. I would be like, can I get a sub for the rest of the day? My stomach hurts and I got to go poop because I'm stressed. Because I'm going to get fired. Because we're going to get a lot of emails. This one is cute.
What you got?
In a very old school building years ago, kittens started falling out of the ceiling in the middle of class. One of my colleagues kept one.
Oh.
I would have totally kept one. They're family now. One of them's the class pet.
It just fell out of the ceiling?
I don't know where that came from, but yeah. That
gives a new meaning to it's raining cats and dogs. Bow.
I think you just not the bow. That was a significant bow. That was a got him real.
It's raining cats and drug sniffing dogs.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
There you go. Or the drug sniffing cat.
I cannot imagine in the middle of a lesson a cat falling, like multiple cats falling out of the ceiling. Can we go
kids
home?
love cats.
Can we go home? And can I take one of the cats with me?
That's just weird. Like,
that is odd that they fell out of this. I wonder how they got up there though. And they were just chilling. And they were babies too. They were kittens.
That's why I don't trust cats. They're sneaky.
Cats are so unbothered. They'll sit there and you'll be like, don't knock that off. Smack it right off the table. Vicious. I love cats though. You're like, oh, so very sad. That's all sad. So unbothered. So anyway.
I'm a dog person.
I do love dogs.
You got one, Mike?
Yes, and this one happens. This is a great lesson for all of us. It says, an inappropriate video popped up while searching cute kitten, there you go, videos, and I panicked and grabbed the student's jacket to throw over the projector and burnt a hole in it from the projector's lamp. I replaced the jacket and had an awkward explanation to the family. This is multifaceted. Number one. Never, ever start Googling things without checking for it first.
They was probably Googling cute kittens falling from the school tiles, and that's what happened.
And kitten is the key word. And KC just got that. And that is why. I learned my lesson
The
one
amount
time.
of teachers that has happened to, though.
But because you don't know.
But now I feel like with the filter, with the firewalls and stuff, now that can't come up now.
it comes up. It does.
Because I mean, like our school,
yeah.
will lock stuff
Yeah,
immediately. Like
yeah.
it's too, like the kids can't even.
Yeah.
They wouldn't even be able to pull up anything like that.
Have your
let alone-
genius kids been able to unblock certain sites or stuff, or been able to figure a way out of it yet?
Nah.
Oh yeah, I have.
My
But you
kids.
got eighth
I've
graders
had-
though.
My
Yeah.
kids
So
are-
eighth
they-
grade, sixth graders.
Yeah.
They,
I'm 7th and 8th, so I've
Yeah.
had.
So when we came back from COVID, the amount of students that helped teachers with their technology, because a lot of stuff went to Google Classrooms, and half the kids were like our school. Half the kids were still virtual. Half the kids were at school, and so there was a lot of students that helped teachers with technology. That they were like, I don't know how to
But
do
with
that.
the videos, that is one thing I've learned. I always
Yeah,
look for
always,
any
yeah.
video, short of course, only 3 minutes, less than 3 or do that. I do it the night before.
Yeah.
And then I send the link to me. So it has been, so there's no
Yeah.
chance. Because yes, it has happened. And
So, but look, I want to circle back to this though. You know, because again, the title is
Let's just circle back.
Lessons gone wrong.
and that is a lesson gone wrong.
What lesson are you teaching that requires the searching of cute kittens?
There's a lot. I mean, there's a lot.
What? Like what?
There's a
Just give me
lot.
one.
I mean, I don't know. As an English teacher, if we're reading a story about somebody adopting a cat, I mean, like we read. There's a story called The Stray that I really love to read to my students. So I mean, I might have pulled up a picture of. But that search cute kitten videos, like people like to watch little kittens, like cute little
Well, I'm saying
kittens.
I'm not saying,
Elementary,
but for the lesson,
preschool.
though.
Yeah.
And the fact
I'm
that they-
saying, so that it's a way to engage the kids before the lesson starts.
Yes.
So sometimes we use videos
A hook.
So we use videos to connect them their interest to
Yeah.
something, especially if we're reading about
Absolutely.
the same topic. So they might have been searching it to, you know.
Well, if she would have planned her lesson correctly, she would have had the video already ready by the time
Already
the
in the
kids.
PowerPoint.
Right.
But that does not always happen.
That's why I'm
because
confused.
my
Like, what are you
lesson
doing?
plans were due on Thursday,
Oh,
and I
snap.
have not
Facts.
submitted them.
Facts.
And I already got my email.
That's
that
a
says
fact.
The
Miss
fact that she
Richardson.
still has an over the projector,
Right.
that is,
There you go.
that's when I started.
That's
people.
another one.
Everyone has
Oh,
Elmo.
she's not talking about the one in the ceiling?
No, because she threw the kid's
How could-
jacket over.
yeah.
I'm thinking it's the big
The
one with
overhead
the
projector.
magnifying glass.
Yeah.
With the
Now,
light,
yeah.
with the
No,
hot
she
with
could've
that hot
got-
light coming up.
No,
Yeah.
she ain't talking. There's no way that one would catch fire. She's probably talking about the projector that's in the ceiling.
like
she
that
can
one?
get.
I've had-
Yeah.
That's not gonna catch fire. You put a jacket
That
over that.
big projector that
Yeah.
our teachers used to pull out, they want to get. This one got a filter and everything, and that you
Nah,
gotta
it's
you gotta
gotta be that
clean the
big one.
filter.
I'm thinking.
Tell us in the comments.
Yes.
Tell us.
That
Which one do you
projector,
think
the
it is?
light wouldn't even get hot. That projector right there, like fire hot. Bet you got up there right now and touch it, you'd be like, ooh.
How would you even put a jacket up there? She said, "Ooh."
What did it do? It went, ooh.
This hot. Don't touch it again.
How old is your Elmo, by the way?
Who?
Your Elmo. Your projector.
Oh, I'm like, boy, I got an Epson. Who is
What you
Elmo?
talking about?
The little
I know. I was like,
Elmo. What the teachers use.
So funny.
Is
Mention
yours
the
called Elmo?
Yeah, the Elmos that you have by your desk, and then you put the documents down. It's
You're talking about the document camera?
Yeah, we call Elmos. We call them Elmos.
Oh.
What was it? Is that the name of the brand?
I don't know. I've called them Elmos
Or
for the
you? I'm about to
past.
start calling my document camera an Elmo.
I call mine Bert and Ernie's.
Yeah, no, but
Why?
that's my Elmo.
Why?
So we looked at it, and
Sesame Street.
mine was 20 years old. My new one.
Are you serious?
Yeah, my new Elmo that was better than my old Elmo.
That's definitely catching fire if you put a
That's
jacket over it.
20
It's
years
a
old.
fire hazard.
That's
walking.
definitely
And
catching
yeah, Elmos.
fire.
Do you guys call them Elmos? Answer in the comments, please.
Elmo.
Elmos, yeah, that's what we refer to them.
I've
need
never,
you-
I've
when
never
you-
heard of that.
I want to. I'm like, when you get back to school on Monday, I need to know: is that the name of the?
Yeah.
Don't touch my weave. Is that the name of the brand? Or when you get back to school, I'm gonna text you on Monday
We
and
will
say,
look it.
is that the name of the brand? Or do y'all
Your
just-
document camera, an Elmo.
My document
Yeah.
camera. I just
We,
called
now,
it document camera.
you did have now. I did have the old overhead projectors, the one that would burn and stuff like that.
So you think? Oh, so Mike Pro right there.
Yeah.
That projector, because
my
that's the
old
one
one
where they
would
had the
definitely-
little
Yes.
light, the claw. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
That's the
you're
one.
right.
That's the one I was
Casey. You're right.
talking about.
Casey.
Yeah, that's
Definitely
the
probably
one.
would burn.
That's definitely would
You're right.
catch on fire.
This lady said,
What you got?
My sister taught 10th grade history for a short time during her 4th year of college. She said she gave her students a test, and while she was working on something else, she heard a ripping noise. So she looked up, and the kid was eating his shoe because he wanted to know what it tasted like. Wow. Y'all, this is what I'm saying. Their brain don't be developed all the way. Because what your brain don't fully develop till you, turn 25? Because you had the thought, and you was like, you know what? Bet that up. I'm going to do it. You
does
sitting in the
my
middle of a
shoe
test like,
taste
you know
like?
what? I wonder what my shoe tastes like. I wonder what this bus tire tastes like. I'ma lick it. I wonder what this
does
shark I'm
my
dissecting
shoe
tastes like.
taste
I'ma
like?
lick it.
But a lot of times it's all sometimes, but then it's for real. And you know which kids are for real. It's attention-seeking behavior. You know the difference between attention-seeking behavior. It's like going, he really does want to eat his shoe, and that's
Yeah.
Yes, or he just really wanted to add to his frame of reference. So when he gets older and he tastes something, he could be like, man, that tastes like a shoe.
KC Mack and cheese.
the shoe.
Yo, one of my students called Casey Mack and cheese,
First of all, this is why I left education.
and still get trolled.
And this is why I thought when I left I escaped this verbal abuse from children. No,
Oh, my gosh.
her kids called. What was you on the phone the other day? What
Yeah,
happened?
he
Tell the
called you
people.
Casey Mack and cheese.
KC Mack.
But they
and
also
cheese.
they come for you all the time though, because they already said something about. Okay, listen, I'm not gonna lie.
She
When he
started
said-
calling me Casey Mack
when
and
he
cheese.
said Casey Mack and cheese, I'm not gonna lie. If you look on the internet right now, I think there's a picture of this of Casey Mack from the Board Teachers Comedy Tour pointing, and it's mac and cheese behind him. Casey Mack and
Can
cheese.
we just put the picture right here? Just put the picture right here real quick.
Casey Mack and cheese
Right here.
Okay.
We're gonna impose it right here.
It was. I felt
started
like
from
it
a
was
kid.
creative.
Came from a kid.
Because I'm like Casey Mack, funny. Casey Mack and cheese. Like we rocking with it.
And first of all, I'm lactose intolerant, so I don't
my
even eat
God.
mac and cheese.
No, you're not, Casey, because I know you eat your grandma mac and
I
cheese
definitely
at
made
Christmas.
that up. I definitely made
right.
that up.
You eating that mac and cheese at Christmas because it ain't dry. Some people mac and cheese be dry at Christmas.
Speaking of eating,
Do you have a good one?
I do have a good one.
Because I got a good one.
This teacher wrote, I once had an AP English student eat his test in front of me
Oh my
so that I
gosh.
wouldn't grade it.
And he was AP?
AP.
Oh gosh.
Here's my question. What if the test was on a Chromebook?
Ba-dum-bum.
What would you have done then, sir?
Maybe he licked the screen. He's like, you know what?
Wait, he would have took a bite out of it and be like, tastes like a shoe.
Oh my gosh, Casey. Let's see. Oh, this one is crazy. This what I'm saying. People do not believe us when we tell them stuff that happens in our classrooms. This teacher said, I once had someone poop on my classroom floor in the middle of a lesson. I still don't know who it was up to this day. Now, let me say this. I did not read the part where it said in the middle of a lesson because houseway.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Houseway.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Houseway.
Say that again.
She
For the people
said,
in the back.
I once had someone poop on my classroom floor in the middle of a lesson. Did you teach kindergarten?
It
Who
has
is
to be.
pooping on the floor in the middle? Now, we had a teacher at my school that somebody did poop on her floor, but it was not there was no teacher. There was nobody in there, and we still don't know who it was. But how they poop on the floor in the middle of a lesson?
And you not know who it is.
And they did on purpose.
Apparently.
Took a squat and took a shadoobie.
And nobody's seen this around. Nobody witnessed this. You don't know. The students don't know.
I would be interested to know what grade this is.
Definitely.
Because I wonder if they're saying they pooped on themselves and a little piece fell out.
The only way to find out, like I said, just tell everybody, sit still. Everybody sit still. And the kid who can't sit still, that's the little kid whose booty's itching because he did not wipe.
No.
That's how you tell. Y'all, that's what happens. We don't wipe correctly.
I would
Even as
be-
adults, we do
now
it too.
That is true.
Okay.
Now
And
that
it
is true.
itches.
That is true.
I'm just saying.
That is true.
That's how you find the culprit. I'm just
I
saying.
have
How do you find the
one.
culprit?
And this one I can relate with. Not sort of. Ready? Tumble dried my outfit before work.
Oh gosh, this one's
Static.
insane.
Then they say, Miss, what's on your back? Writing on the whiteboard. I reached over my shoulder in the front of a whole six class. Only pick off a black lace thong. This happened more times than ever. Okay.
How did that happen more than once?
Uh,
Check
that-
your clothes.
yeah, I know.
Put a fabric
Yeah,
sheet
you
in
do
there,
that.
fabric
When-
softener sheet in there. or
Back in the
something.
day,
Not back in the day.
I always wear my shirts out. And I remember I came to school and out popped my wife's drawers.
No.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Y'all don't put no fabric sheets in the dryer.
This was
before
back in the
y'all-
day. Remember, I've been teaching 25 years.
Man, y'all
so
better
no,
check
it
y'all
actually, and the
clothes.
kids were
Yes.
just.
Got dressed in the dark.
And what do you do? What do you do? You are turning red. You're just going.
Oh, I would've
okay,
been-
just get.
I
Yeah,
would have been embarrassed, yeah.
yeah. It was very embarrassing.
Now I'm paranoid about that.
But that happened.
Now I'm like, I got to check all my clothes before.
Yes.
They just you got to go back to the days of hanging them outside on the clothesline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not the clothespin.
That was very, very embarrassing. and the kids were just
And the kids
would never let you get over
Of
it.
course, they would
They
never
saw
let
the
you live that
draws
down.
fall out.
No, they saw it. It was sticking out of my back
Oh.
shirt, and then I grab it.
Because you didn't know what it was at the time.
I'm like, oh my god.
You didn't know what it was at the
They
time.
said,
You're just
Mr.
thinking,
Rivera's in a gang. That's a
Yeah.
gang rag out of his back pocket. And he was,
Is that your merch now? It's an inside joke.
what set you from?
I'm sorry. Okay. This lady said, I sneezed and farted while teaching. I crop dusted the whole class. I sneezed
and farted?
It happens. You ain't never
Jeez.
sneezed and farted at the same time?
No.
Casey lagging.
Let me see. How can you? Is that two different muscles?
It's because when you sneeze, if you have to pass gas when you sneeze, the gas
It'll come
probably
out.
inadvertently comes out. Because just like you can't sneeze with your eyes open, so your eyes naturally
Urban legend.
close. You sneeze with your eyes open.
I don't know.
Now I'm like, I gotta try sneezing my eyes
I didn't
open.
know you can sneeze and fart at the same time.
I think the sneeze pushes the fart out.
True. It's two different muscles.
That wasn't a real
True.
sneeze though. The force,
You're right,
the
you're right,
force
you're right,
of
you're right.
gravity.
Okay. I
teach
can
English.
rock with it. Okay,
So
carry
she
on.
said, I sneezed and farted while teaching states
see
of
it.
matter. So she was teaching states of matter. So she's already talking about gas. And a kid, unfazed, went, well, that's for sure a gas.
Ooh.
Not you. Y'all ever crop dusted your whole class?
Hold it in.
You hold it in?
You have to.
No way, dude. I'm crop dusting the whole class. My mom said, don't hold your farts in. It'll make your stomach hurt. I can't do it.
Hold it in.
I
Hold
can't
it in
do
as
it.
best as, or go to a different side of the room.
Well, our classes ain't big enough. It's 30 kids in there. I can't go
Then
to
I
it.
go by
Whatever
the
side of the
window
room
and
I go
open
to.
up the window.
The windows don't open in my school.
I
Y'all
got,
got windows at your
I got a
school?
story I got to tell you off camera.
playing, Mike.
It's hilarious.
We do.
I'm trolling.
Talking about off
You
camera.
said off camera.
Yeah.
Because probably inappropriate.
It's not going to make it.
It's not gonna make it. Casey's motto for 2024. It's not gonna make
It's
it.
not going to make it.
This one said, while student teaching, a student taped their own mouth shut. The principal walked in for an observation 20 seconds later. Did you put tape over that student's
Right.
mouth? Of course not. Like, they did that themselves.
It was a setup.
It was a setup immediately. Kids be trying to set you up.
That'll definitely mess up your lesson.
Definitely.
I had kindergartners make fossils out of clay, and after we painted them brown, they just looked like literal poop. That wasn't my proudest moment. When I sent the arts and crafts home and got several emails from parents asking, what is this supposed to be?
As a kindergarten parent that gets a lot of arts and crafts.
Now, that's one of
I
them
would've
lessons
wanted-
in your
yeah.
mind that you just knew it was going to go over well, and you knew it was about to be just the
Yeah.
best ever.
Yep.
And
Yep.
it turns out to be poop.
Yeah. Peyton came home with that. Is this doo-doo? Y'all was painting shadoobies in your class.
I wonder if that one teacher that wasn't doodle on her floor, that was just one of these fossil that somebody dropped.
That's from the art class. This person said, my lesson, this one is for sure crazy.
What you got?
My lesson was interrupted by the student teacher in the classroom next door being arrested. They had found drugs in her bag, and turns out she was actually dealing drugs while subbing in high schools around the area. The police just busted in, took her out in handcuffs. The students still talk about it to this day.
That sounds like a good Netflix movie.
I'm telling you, that's and somebody gonna make it as a Tubi movie.
I want to watch
It's on
that.
Tubi already.
So she was just going around
Dude,
selling
that's crazy.
drugs as a sub.
Yes, this is crazy. Not they, but and they busted in. She said they ain't knock on the door. They busted in.
Dang.
I wouldn't be. That's again another one of those things. Like, how do you teach this? You can't. Like, I can't teach for the rest of the day. All the kids talking about is the
Right.
sub got arrested.
Right.
I mean, we had
For that week,
Yeah, we had
your
a
lesson
sub
plan for
sleep.
that whole week is
Yeah,
gone.
no, yeah, I can't teach the rest of the time. This one said, I had a student propose to his high school sweetheart in my class. She said yes. 2 years later, they got divorced. Go figure.
I wonder who got custody of the locker.
KC. Now who got
They
custody
had to
of the
divide the
locker?
locker and their books. That's my algebra book. You can't have that.
No,
I don't
when
know.
lessons go wrong, usually sometimes if there's a sub next door, I mean, the
Yeah,
things
'cause there'll be
I've
some stuff popping off
heard,
next door, yeah.
the loudest bangs, the loudest
Yep.
screams.
Yeah, absolutely.
Almost you hear the walls just next to you.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
And every
absolutely.
time I always ask my kids to go, when should I go over? And they are really honest. It's amazing when they know there's a sub.
Yeah.
And I'll look at them, and they get really serious.
And they like being able to give their input too. Yeah.
And they just go, "You got to go over, Mr. Rivera. It's your time to go."
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, here's my letters to my family and stuff like
my
that.
gosh.
And no, but one of the greatest things 5 years ago, there's a sub in there, and then there's a certain student who was like the darling of the whole school.
Yeah.
Wink. And I hear the famous words, "I'm in charge here," and it was and then they go, "You got to go."
Yeah.
And he was
You know what? I said something one time about that if the kids are acting crazy, like I'll go in and say something, and people were upset because they were like, "That's usurping the subs." Authority and da da da. Like I think when we go in as teachers, we're not meaning it to usurp the authority or to be disrespectful or anything like that. It's to. I was like, what the hell is that?
That's the
It's
dog.
the dog.
The dog has come back.
I almost peed on myself. That scared me. Maybe I'm
by
scared
the way,
of the dog.
That's my school. My school is actually, they're listening right now. There you go.
My whole thing with that is, I think the sub should say that. I don't think that's. Anybody has the right. That's what I'm saying.
That was people's opinion, but I've
That's
never
what I'm
had
saying.
the sub. Normally, the sub is like really
Thank you.
appreciative.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think
but people were mad in the comments because they were like,
well, that's silly. Let that substitute say, hey, I feel like you is, kind of
overstepping.
right.
Yeah.
But if not, if you actually help them, then be quiet.
And that's one of the greatest
Be
things
quiet.
to not have lessons go wrong. Always, if there's a sub, I always introduce myself and I say,
I always introduce
and
myself,
say
yeah.
whatever you need,
Yep.
just send them in here.
Absolutely.
Right.
A lot of times when the period, if like as soon as the bell rings, I'll just tell my class, give me 30 seconds. I'll go, hey, so and so is a good friend of mine here. I'd really appreciate it. And especially I'll say who the other, your teacher. It's a reflection on them. And please,
Yep.
and if you need anything, just come to me right now.
Absolutely.
Because I've seen several videos out there where the substitute teacher engages in physical,
altercation
yeah,
with the kid. The one with the cell
students,
phone.
yes.
Yeah, there was one
Yeah.
where the sub she had the kid's phone and the kid wanted
Right.
their phone back.
Right.
And I think the kid she was like, don't touch me. And I guess the
Right.
kid touched her and then they got into a fight. But they got to fight.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, good Lord.
is that the one where her skirt,
Her
hiked
dress
up?
came up and everything.
Yeah.
I'm like, nah, baby, I ain't. If I tell you to get, which I'm one of those teachers, like if a kid's phone goes off during class, like my phone has went off before, I'm just gonna tell them, hey, just turn your phone off, put it back in your book bag. Like my kids know, like even if because sometimes you forget to turn your ringer off. We all might have forgot to turn our ringer off, so I'm not gonna, and there's some teachers like as soon as their ringer goes off, like they'll take their phones. They're like, well, they're supposed to have it, turned off, and it's at your discretion. So I'm like, I ain't judging, but I'm just saying we all human. Like if your phone go off every day, give it to me, but I'm also not about to risk my safety to take no kid's phone.
Right.
Like the phone thing, like it pretty soon we're gonna have to change I think we have to change across the board what the policy is on cell phones pretty soon.
Especially if their ringer is
Do they allow them in your school?
A dog barking.
The ringer's a dog bark. That scared me. I don't know.
It was my school. Do they allow them in your classrooms in 6th grade?
They're supposed to have them turned off and in their book bag.
Yes.
So I mean, I understand again. There's an argument on both ends that their parents need to be able to reach them. I'm like, they're at school, and then there's the other thing of, well, my parent pays for the cell phone. Like you shouldn't be. There's too much, and I don't even want to say gray area, but it's almost like this generation and right now for teachers, it's almost like it's like I'm not gonna risk my safety to say, give me your phone. Like I got other stuff to worry about. Turn your phone off, put it in your book bag. Like
Take
I
it.
don't, and I understand because the kids, like, the drama that happens from them arguing on social media, the bullying that happens at school with their cell phone. It's a lot of disciplinary problems that come from the kids having their phones at school, but it's also one of those things where what the parent and the teacher, there's a disconnect from what the parent is expecting at school and what the teacher is expecting at school, because sometimes parents are like, why my kid can't have their phone at school? They need to be able to get in touch with me. Or parents that are texting their kid like in the middle of class. So as a kid, I'm like, my mama texting me in the middle of class, like I ain't finna not respond to my mama. So I mean, it's too many.
I don't understand why we just each class that when your kids come in, they just put their phones.
But some of them won't though. Some Some of them, they're not going to do that. So to me, that's pointless. Like, and I know there's schools that they take up the phone, but I'm like, all the kids not going to put their phone. And I don't want to be responsible for 20 cell phones. Because what if you forget, the way y'all forget y'all textbooks and y'all pencils and stuff, I don't want to be responsible if you say you forgot your phone in my room.
If they forget their phone, then that's on them.
I don't want to be responsible for their phone.
No, now we call admin if there's a phone issue.
Yeah, I'm like,
we're not
I ain't losing no sleep
off
off your phone. If I say give it to me, because you know, on it while I'm in the middle of a lesson and you don't give it to me, because I give my kids, I'm going to give you your phone back. Like, I just give it to me right now. It's going to sit right there on my desk where you can see it. At the end of class, I'm going to give it back to you. Especially if it's the first time that you done had it out.
So the funny part is, I was sitting here thinking, what was equivalent when we was in school? Because, you know, we didn't have cell phones back then. What was equivalent to our cell phones? And only thing I could think of is passing notes.
That's exactly what I was about to say. Golly, I would practically
that's how
die.
we communicated. That's us text messaging each other. Was passing the notes.
Yeah,
so
that's
And then
true.
they'd pretend to yawn and just pass them out.
So obvious, too.
And
yeah.
I love them because most teachers back then, and again before the century, the millennium, we were like ninjas. When I would see notes passing, you would pretend you're not seeing it.
Oh,
so
absolutely.
So you're waiting, and it's just waiting. So when you see it, like maybe on one row, and they're going to do it, I'd be right there and jump over there and just fly through the air and grab it.
And that you turn into Michael Jordan from the free throw line.
Grab it.
My teacher put a mirror on the board so when she was writing, she could see the class.
I love that.
behind.
Oh my God.
That
I
is
love that.
a good idea.
Yeah,
Oh my
so
God.
she could see behind her.
Who else out there has a mirror in the front? That is a great.
It's like the mirror that's on the school bus. And
Wow.
You see everything in the back of the bus.
All these years, I never thought of that.
I
That
know,
is
me
a
neither.
great one.
I need to use
Teachers,
that.
give us your.
Tell us some of your funny stuff that
Yeah.
has happened where a kid has interrupted your class.
What
Or
do we
something
have? What do we
cray-cray than
have?
happened during your lesson.
I once had a kid jump up and karate kick my wall in the middle of the class while yelling, "Tarantula!" He really did squish a tarantula. We always had spiders in that room.
Tarantulas?
Wow.
Ay,
That alone is interrupting my lesson every day. Every day. It's interrupting my lesson.
Oh.
I-
Who is
I-
having
I can't
tarantulas?
focus.
What if that was somebody's class pet? Because some people have tarantulas.
Yes.
Do people not have
Yes,
tarantulas
they
as
do.
class pets?
No,
They do.
no, they
Actually,
do.
Somebody's class
We said this
pet.
before.
And those people are weird too, but I'm just saying, if you just have random, not even just spiders, tarantulas?
But
That's
some
the
people
big
like,
guys.
But don't you feel like when we watched TV when we were growing up, the class pet was always a tarantula? It was either a tarantula or a gerbil or a hamster or something,
Guinea pig.
or a guinea pig.
See, there's those certain spiders, when you kill them, it just sounds like smack.
Because tarantulas are huge.
When you kill a tarantula, it sounds like, tsh. It's like a hard, girthy sound.
And the tarantula makes a
It's a
sound.
thud.
Oh my gosh!
Tarantula like, I've been hit.
Can you imagine that kid looking over and seeing it like, I'm a karate kid?
Right, oh.
It was an involuntary response.
Yeah.
He was like,
Oh, that kid was prepared for that. He was training with Mr. Miyagi.
He was a green belt.
Right, he was a
for the
green belt.
YMCA.
He was ready for that moment.
He's a green belt from the YMCA.
He was ready for that moment. Oh, man. So I don't know which one was the bigger distraction. The fact that there was a tarantula or the kid doing the karate roundhouse.
Both was a not the karate roundhouse. What if he did a little turn with it before he kicked it? Oh gosh.
Man, I don't know.
What a great episode, though. In my third grade class, during an observation, a little girl pulled her brush out of her backpack and started brushing my administrator's hair.
Why was the administrator sitting in front of that student?
You can't never have your back turned to him. We just talked about needing mirrors up there when you were writing on the board.
Russian hair.
And you
But
know,
she's third grade.
the student, but she was probably judgmental. Like, I don't like my principal's hair.
She need her hair brushed.
But kids love
It's a
to brush
little
hair.
tangled.
You know
They
that.
do. I mean, I loved to brush hair when I was a little girl.
If there's ever free time, ever at lunchtime, always everyone's brushing hair and hair. It's
lunch.
amazing. Yeah. No, it's afterwards when they're done.
Cafeteria food already got some suspect stuff in it.
Well, there we have it. Another wonderful episode.
Whoop, whoop.
Talked about a lot. We had these lessons going wrong, and I think as long as education is a thing, lessons are going to continue to go wrong because you just can never control things.
You never know
that you
what's gonna
can't
happen.
Control.
You just
Right.
never
It's
know
just-
what's gonna
just
happen.
Too hard. Educators, do us a favor. Go ahead and put in the comment sections some times that your lesson went horribly wrong. We can't wait to read it. I'll read all of them. I laugh. You know, some
Yeah,
funny-
we like reading
yeah.
y'all's comments. I like
Yeah.
reading y'all's comments.
Some
when
funny
it-
stuff
when
They
it
help
comes
us
in.
out.
Yeah, some
Yeah.
funny stuff out there. So, but Yep. That's about it. That's about it over here, guys.
Bye,
You know what I'm
best
saying?
friends.
Got nothing else? Oh, I do got something
Board
else.
Teachers Comedy Tour.
Hey, you got to make sure you follow us. Follow the Board Teachers Comedy Tour. We're going to be in a lot of great cities. Like I said, we're going to be in Midland tonight. We're going to be in Orlando, Florida next week, Thursday and Saturday.
And Friday, my hometown, Clearwater. We want you to come out. We're all going to be there. We will all be in Clearwater.
Yes, we are. Can't wait to meet you guys.
Pinellas County peeps.
Let's
See you.
do it. My name is KC Mack.
I'm Honest Teacher Vibes.
Mr. Rivera Comedy.
Make sure you follow Board Teachers Comedy Tour. Make sure you follow Teachers Off Duty Podcast. Make sure you follow us on Supercast. I ain't talked about that in a while, but Supercast, you need to make sure you follow us on that. And we love you. And
Bye.